all being developed by the Kujira team that's supposed to incentivize deepening the order book and narrowing the price spreads on Fin. In theory, this should attract traders and generate more fees for Kuji token stakers, while also giving Kuji token holders another way to benefit while holding the Kuji token. They just updated their landing page with more information on ecosystem benefits and user benefits, so let's take a look and see what they're trying to do. Bo is a market maker with very high capital efficiency, as it only needs to cover the range of orders that are posted, as opposed to other MMs covering the entire range. So to me, I take this to mean it's going to look something like concentrated liquidity, meaning that instead of having to provide liquidity from 0 to infinity, you only provide liquidity for a selected range, usually wherever the token is trading at that time, plus or minus a couple points. Bo makes trading on Fin more attractive, which encourages greater volume in trade and therefore earns more fees for Kuji stakers. Adding incentives to various pairs allows for protocols to encourage pool liquidity and also offers an incentivized means to reward token holders without resorting to airdrops, thus ensuring tokens go into the hands of holders who are actively using the protocol in ways other than staking. All this amounts to a myriad of benefits to the ecosystem, ensuring a stronger and more diverse platform. I'm curious to see whether or not protocols will actually add incentives for adding liquidity. It's not something that I think we've seen too much of right now, outside of like Osmosis, who provides Osmo tokens in a lot of cases for providing liquidity, and a couple other protocols that are doing the same, matching the Osmosis with their own incentives. I can think of Evmos right now off the top of my head that's actually doing that. I'm wondering what that will look like, honestly. Until now, a Kuji holder who wanted to earn a return in exchange for supporting the network only had one option: staking with a validator. This remains a great option for Kuji holders who wish to earn a diverse bouquet of tokens at relatively low risk. I'm personally a big fan of staking on Kuji. I understand some people tell me that, hey, look, the staking APR kind of floats somewhere between 2 and 4% at the max. My counter to that is there's no inflation with Kujira. On other protocols, they have a higher staking APR, but the majority of that is from inflation, meaning that the value of each token you have is consistently day by day going down because they're producing more of them every single day. On Kujira, the APR is low, but they're not inflating the amount that each token is worth. In fact, the amount is going to stay the same. All the tokens that will exist already exist. So as you accumulate more of it through staking and getting yield from trading activity on the platform, it's not coming from additional tokens being created. So in my personal view, even though the APR is worth less, each token is worth more to me, since there's no more of them that will be created later on. While Bo's purpose is to increase the volume of trading on Fin and therefore increase the benefits of staking, it has the added benefit of enabling token holders to diversify their yield strategies. Single asset staking offers further nuance to the options available to participants who wish to experience the benefits without exposing themselves to impermanent loss. Now, this to me is interesting. I can't really wrap my head around how you could provide single asset staking in the context of Bo. What I'm taking away from this is that you'll be able to provide one asset and then they'll somehow match that asset while you're providing liquidity. Now, I could just be understanding this wrong, but I can't wrap my head around how that would be possible. I'm really curious to figure that out. Anyway, the end result is more opportunity for token holders looking for ways to deploy their long-term token holds and benefit from contributing to a robust trading environment. So we can't talk about Kujira without talking about some of the drama that's been going on around whether or not their code should be open or closed source. Now, if you don't know, Kujira is currently closed source, and some people on Twitter, especially some of the louder voices on Twitter, have been saying that you shouldn't trust Kujira because of their closed source code. Now, Kujira finally responded to some of these people in a way that I think is actually well said, and I want to go through that with you now. They started off by saying, "Hey all, we didn't want to put out any official statement because these Twitter things only ever cause further division. But due to the request of a few community members, we will address a few points, particularly around StableChen's tweet, as it was at least sensible. Before that, it's important to clarify that our position has been identical for over a year now, and absolutely nothing has changed. We have always been clear and transparent about everything we do at Kujira, including open/closed source. Below are the answers to some questions. What the contracts are supposed to do. Our contracts are well documented. Developers can easily check that what is in the docs is actually deployed by interacting with these docs and the chain. Our chain core and various other tooling has and always will be open source. It's important to note that there are other chains on Cosmos and elsewhere where nothing is open source. This just feels like a point to be made. How can this be verified? Example, expected contract logs. Again, the documentation, running the core, and various other actions that devs can take can verify this. We also have extensive documentation here. Who is accountable in case failure is detected? Not sure we understand this one fully. Who would be accountable if the project was fully open sourced? We assume the answer is the same. Core teams will always be held responsible, and that we think is pretty clear. What will be done to protect users? So far, we have only seen vampire attacks and contract exploits with open source projects on Cosmos. Our contracts are thoroughly audited with SCV security, and Will himself pointed out they are great. Do we think closed source is the only way? Again, no. We believe that we have built tech that others have been promising for a very long time but not delivered. We feel like keeping some aspects, not all, is beneficial to the Kujira project and community. Will these certain contracts always be closed source? The answer again is no. Touching on the above tweet again, we will be opening up various contracts as we go, but we don't have a timeline just yet. And as Will pointed out, we won't do it purely out of being bullied. We have heard from a few builders that this goes against the principles of DeFi. Where are these principles laid out in stone? Even a quick Google search brings up nothing about closed versus open source. There are many trusted closed source projects just as there are many open. To the few people constantly attacking us that are directly or indirectly involved in other Cosmos projects, you are galvanizing our community and doing direct harm to yours. The only thing you've succeeded in doing is making Cosmos a worse place to build. We are now going to try and drown out all this noise, petty behavior, bullying, and get back to doing what we do best, building. It would really make this space a lot better if others did the same. If this all means you can't trust Kujira, then so be it. Big love. Now, my personal thoughts on this is they're doing exactly what they should be doing. They addressed the people's questions, and I thought some of them were valid questions. The only thing I disagree with is that to do so on Twitter, just posting random stuff wasn't really that helpful, because all the questions that people were asking, they've addressed this multiple times inside of their Discord and on Twitter before, and they've been pretty open about what they're planning to do, just not the exact timeline for when it's going to happen, which they might not have yet. As always, it's up to you whether or not you decide to invest with a project or not, and if you don't feel that they meet your standards for investment, then don't invest. Like that, it's really that simple. Anyway, to end today off, we're going to talk about the STRD Airdrop details. All outstanding airdrops will be claimable on November 22nd. Some airdrops will be liquid STRD, others will be vested STRD. Airdrop Category 1, Host Chain Airdrops. Atom stakers are getting 2,200,000 STRD. The snapshot was August 4th. The minimum threshold is 10 Atom, and all the way up to 4,200 Atom, and this is staked. Star stakers are getting 20,000 STRD. The snapshot was September 19th. Minimum threshold 2,800 stars, max 1.2 million stars. Juno stakers are getting 200,000 STRD. Snapshot August 14th. Minimum threshold 16 Juno, max threshold 8,300 Juno. Osmo stakers are getting 1 million STRD. Minimum threshold 85 Osmo, max 43,000 Osmo. Injective stakers are getting 100,000 STRD. Snapshot was October 24th. Minimum 25 injective. Max 26,500. Amount remaining for airdrops to chains onboarded by STRD in the future is 1,555,000. I'll leave this link down in the description, which is the airdrop testnet checker, so you can see if you qualified for any of this. There was a incentivized testnet, so you might not be getting as much as you would have, but check it out either way. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. I will see you guys in the next video, and as always, we can keep talking about getting more coins.